Welcome to Astridologie, the podcast that brings you knowledge, wisdom, and principles that can help you find the peace and comfort we all seek and deserve in our lives. Hello, hello, hello. Wow. All I can say is just wow. How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's happening in your life? What's going on in your world? A lot. I'm wearing red for you, Aries. Hi, Daria. Oh, Danny Ray Falk, thank you for joining. How you doing? This is the root chakra tuning fork that I use in my sessions. And I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm wearing red lipstick. I'm wearing the red for you, Aries. If you have red in your wardrobe, pull it out. Red is such a powerful color. I feel like I'm channeling my friend Xomi, how are you? She wears a lot of red, it's her color. And I feel with this red on my head, my scarf, I'm channeling her. She's such a super being. Are you Aries? Are you Aries? What sign are you? Danny Ray Falk, what sign are you? Where is your zodiac sign? So we're here. I'm ready for this new moon. I've been waiting for this new moon in Aries. I love this time of year every year because Aries is one of the cardinal signs, and cardinal signs kick off seasons. So Aries is kicking off the spring season, and it's always right on time. A lot's going on, as I've been talking about, other astrologers are talking about, but it's good news. Are you ready? Are you ready? Simplify. It's so easy to get ready. Burn, baby, burn. Whenever a zodiac sign is on deck, you want to kind of mirror that element. So Aries is a cardinal fire sign. It's a time to get out all your candles, especially at night. The theory is when you burn candles at night, the universe can find you. Your energy can be found and located by the candle light. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Welcome. Long time no see. I'm here to talk about, are you Aries? Trying to see if my Aries are joining. But I am ready for this new moon. So candles. I can't express that enough. Sage. Clear your space. When a new moon comes on deck, you want to make sure that you're clearing the space. So I've got my new moon candle. Ready. I've got my love oil that I apply to my Sage Goddess says, to your wrist for what you do, on your third eye, what you see, and your ankles on where you go. I also have Mercury retrograde oil. This Mercury retrograde it's been tempered a little bit because the eclipses have made Mercury retrograde seem very tame. And also for my ritual, I did this last night in my yoga class. I had the students write down on this yellow card what they wanted to let go of, what they needed to let go of, because as we go into a new season of change, you want to change. Look at those ashes. Look at that. These are their intentions that they want to release. So I will add mine to this when I do my ritual, and then I will bury them outside in the dirt so they're gone, totally gone, absolutely gone. So let's get into this. New moon solar eclipse in Aries coming in on Saturday over the weekend. So there's a rare event going on with this new moon. So I want to start out of the gate by saying happy birthday, Aries. I want to thank you, Aries, for this beautiful, amazing energy. And March and April are always usually exciting, but this is tremendous. So if you're having a birthday in Aries, I hope that you are really empowering yourself, because you are the number one. You're the go-getters. You're the number one in the zodiac. If you have your sun, your moon, or your rising in Aries, it's go time for you. And the rest of us are just being drug along in your energy. So first of all, happy birthday, Aries. I do this every time when a sign comes on deck, except for Scorpio. I know a ton of Scorpios and I know a ton of Cancerians for some reason. So Aries is one. I was like, do I know that many people? Always at the top is my brother Judah, brother Big. He's just an extraordinary human being. He's shown up as this amazing, divine, masculine energy my entire life. So I'm just, my brother's amazing. Velda, happy birthday, Velda, another Aries. My nephew, Michael. Now, this is funny. Sometimes I'm such a dizzy Dane. My niece, who he's married to, is Cancer, okay? Water sign. So he's fire. But their daughter, Nola, is also fire. She's Sagittarius. It just hit me. It just landed on me yesterday because it was his birthday. I was like, oh my God, my niece is water surrounded by this fire. So when there's too much fire, the water evaporates. But then when there's too much water, the fire goes out. So I got to talk to them offline and see what the dynamic is going on. But the great thing is, Nola, my little niece, my grandniece, and Michael, they are the sweetest souls. They're redheads. They are the quintessential Aries. So happy birthday to Michael. Vanessa Crocini. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're just such a beautiful soul in this world. I'm so glad you exist. Mr. Kasai, Brooke Kasai, Aries, Morgan, my cousin Morgan, Rohan is my eldest son's best friend, his road dog. They've known each other since they were in first grade. So such an amazing soul. Shanti, my sister-in-law, yes, and Javi Karasati. We used to work together in corporate. And I'm sure there's some Aries that I'm missing out. Anyone Aries on the live? I know you are Cancer, Satana. I think you are. But what was I going to say? But what I've noticed about every Aries that I named, Aries in general are always super successful. And not necessarily just in the monetary ways. Aries has a way of figuring out what they need and what they want and being able to get it. Aries truly lives the life that they want. And if you know anything about Aries, they're very focused and energized, and they live almost in a way many lifetimes, because whatever they put their minds together to do, they get it done. So whenever a sign is on deck, we can take inspiration from their energy. We all have Aries somewhere in our chart. So when a new moon or full moon is in a sign, it's a sign for us to empower ourselves with that energy, because the universe is already doing it. The globe has us. So this is the astrological new year. Happy Astro New Year. For me personally, this is the start of 2025. January, February, March were just kind of to see what's going on, to arrive and to land. But for me, we're truly in 2025. And so many things have happened in these first less than 90 days of a new year. Very remarkable things. So we're all yearning, yearning for a new and a better future, aren't we? We all are. So think of the aspects that are rolling around are having us think about rest, action, and reflection. I got this from another astrologer and I thought it was beautiful. Rest, action, and reflection. So there's a little conundrum here, because you need to take action, but you need to rest. So I think it's basically coming from a mindful place. And eclipses cause us to review and look at the past. So it's time with Aries on deck to launch what is near and dear to you, what is new and dear. So this weekend, it comes in on Saturday, but this weekend is considered the biggest weekend, one of the biggest weekends in astrology in 2025, coming up in 2 days. So it's coming in on 3/29 at 9 degrees. If you've learned anything about me, 9 degrees, or anything you've been listening to me this year, 9 is the number that we're in. 2025 is a 9. 9 is spirituality and it's completion. So it's about completing, wrapping up, tying up loose ends. The day, the 29th, equals an 11. So an 11 is a master number. It's also can be seen as double ones, 2 1s. So it's almost like a double new beginning. And it's the master number of service as well. It's a spiritual number of service. 329, 2025 reduces to a 23, which reduces to the number 5. 5 is considered the royal star number of the lion. So it's like that courage and that fierceness that Aries has. But 5 is a number of change. It's the number of change. It's the number of the master builder. So again, it's a 5. So we've got Aries energy. We've got the master builder 5. We've got number 11, spiritual energy. So we're ready to go. So it's kind of like us climbing to that top of the mountain where we've always wanted to be, but then figuring out a flow and figuring out the energy on how we make sure that, you know, we can climb down safely and comfortably. So Mars is the ruler of Aries. It's fire, it's confidence. So eclipse season is open, as everyone knows. This is a partial solar eclipse. It's not a full solar eclipse. A full solar eclipse was in the fall last year, and people were tracking it across the country. But this is a major new beginning for us all. So one of the things that comes through is take better care of yourself. Aries, being the number 1 sign, is all about number 1. Number 1 is the I am. Aries is gut, it's sacral, it's root, but it's about I am. So although it's partial, it's still considered a super moon, which means the moon is very, very close to the earth in its orbit. And there are 3 more super moons at the end of the year, but this was considered one of the biggest. And this is the last eclipse in this Aries Libra axis. They have been together for about 18 months. So this is the last dance that these 2 signs will have together, and then we'll move on. So this will be the second, actually, closest moon to the earth. What is an eclipse? People always ask me, what is an eclipse? Someone explained it beautifully. So here's the sun, here's the moon in the middle, and here's earth. So the sun shines its rays down on the moon, and then it lights up the moon, and then the moon casts a shadow on the earth. That is what makes an eclipse. So because it's not a total eclipse, when that moon, it covers basically earth. But now in a partial, it just creates a shadow on the earth, making it a partial eclipse. This is a big full moon, the last in the Aries Libra eclipse. I'm sorry to see it go because I think they're just such beautiful partners. You've got action, and Libra is a sign about equity and balance and harmony. So the energy will be massive. You should feel it already as we come into Friday, the pre-shadow of the eclipse, of the solar eclipse. So eclipses represents this kind of harmony between the sun and the moon. There is harmony, and it symbolizes new beginnings, deep emotional rejuvenation, and the shedding of old skin. It's time to let stuff go. So the overarching theme of Aries is I am. So this is a zodiac sign stressing the importance of our own personal identity. Have you gotten lost? Have you lost your identity in life? Have you lost it due to a crazy job, a crazy situation? What's going on? And also, this activates Kundalini energy. Aries is number 1. The number 1, the first chakra, is root, represented by the color red. So everything happening this week because of the eclipses. Eclipses have us look back. They have us take a cosmic pause and review our lives to go forward. So if you're dreaming of having vivid dreams about the past, if people are popping up into your head you haven't thought about in a while, this is eclipse energy. So Aries being the first cardinal sign, it's a mover and a shaker. It's a powerful mover and a shaker. So the idea is we want to jump on this train and ride the train, ride the wave with this Aries energy. So it's ruled by the planet Mars, fire, power, strength, action, and aggression. So it always can be an aggression. So Aries is very assertive. Sometimes people think Aries, like Leo, are arrogant. it's not arrogance. It is confidence. They're confident in themselves. So because we're in a very spiritual time with this energy, spiritual leadership will be fired up. Your own spiritual leadership. Mars, the Aries ruling planet, is trine with Saturn right now. So Saturn and Mars are working together. When Saturn and Mars come together, you have stamina, you have security, and you have more grounded energy. And so Mars is strengthened by Saturn. So Saturn's like, yeah, let's go for it, but let's go for it in a very mindful, structured, holistic way. Because Aries is the sign that will leap and then look and be, oh shoot. It's like, reminds me of the Roadrunner cartoons. I'm dating myself here, but you boomers, baby boomers will know what I mean, when the Roadrunner ran to the cliff and he fell down and he had an OS moment, like, oh gosh, there's nothing but rocks down below. So that's kind of Aries, but they're fearless, which I love. So even though Mars is in Cancer, this will be helping us have the lasting results that we desire. Hey, Gwendolyn, Sentimentalist, thanks for joining. We're talking about, are you Aries? I'm not getting any comments back. Is anyone on here Aries? I know Satana is not Aries. But if you start something and start it on Saturday or this weekend, even if you just write down the plans of what you want. Oh, another Cancer? Okay, let's go. Very, very watery, very, very watery time. And I'll talk about why. Because of Pisces, the dominant element right now is water. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, we're having a good time with this eclipse season and with Aries being on deck. But ideally, if you start something now, because of the eclipse, it's helping you let go and shed stuff you don't need. We have a new moon. Mercury's in retrograde and Venus is in retrograde. This is going to help us create lasting results. So after the eclipse window closes, so when an eclipse season comes on deck, it lasts for 6 months. So we have 6 months to create this new life, this new paradigm for ourselves. So after the eclipse window closes, you'll see clearly something will be revealed to you, something that you need to see that was covered up. The eclipse season, this portal is a time to journal and then self-talk. Ask yourself the questions. Aries is the beginner, the entrepreneur. So start launching what is near and dear to you. Start it. We have 6 months to live in this energy. So Aries season is a potent time of action because of Mars. And, like other cardinal signs, they are the beginning point of a season. The Aries pointer axis is at 0 degrees of all the cardinal signs. So 0 of Aries. So we've got 0 of Aries, 0 of Cancer, 0 of Libra, 0 of Capricorn. This is crazy. Hey, Gab, Simon, how are you? Welcome. Are you Aries? We're talking about this new moon in Aries coming in on Saturday. And just if you have your sun, your moon, your rising in your chart, this is your time. Wear red, people. I assure you, everybody looks good in red. Red is such a great color. So Mercury's at 0 degrees in Aries, and the degree Neptune will be also 0. So patience is needed. So there's a lot of healing that goes on when eclipse season happens. It's time to learn how to communicate and take care of ourselves in a more healthy way. When a planet is at 0 degrees, it means it's this quintessential nature of that planet. So because Mercury and Aries are in conversation right now, Mercury's very, very direct with its communication. Even though it's in retrograde right now, Mercury is very direct in communication. It says, this is what I think, this is my perception, this is my perspective, and this is how it's going to work in the world. And then so Aries says, okay, I'm going to move forward based on this information that you're giving me. So let's talk about the sun, because Aries, we're on Aries sun. Aries is on deck. In any natal chart, your sun sign identifies the self that you want to become. So when people say, I don't understand the sun sign, my sun sign is Scorpio. Some of you are Cancer. Freya 111, what are you? What sign are you? So in any natal chart, it's what we want to become. It's things that are unhealed or that have not come to fruition that we're working on. So after this eclipse, you'll be able to understand. You'll be able to see things in the dark that were covered up in the dark. And now you're going to get the answers that were covered up in the past for you. And it'll be really impactful and empowering. So we can live into this energy until around August. Oh, Pisces, water in the house. We got 2 Cancers. I'm Scorpio. You're Pisces. Water, let's go. Because it's very healing time. Pisces is kicking this off in a big, big way. So we can start healing things in a different way. If there is an approach, sometimes we need talk therapy. Sometimes we need coaching. Sometimes we need meditation. So we need to analyze how we try to heal the thingy or let something go. A new way will be revealed. As I said before, Venus, when Venus is in retrograde, it's not a time to do any major beauty or cosmetic surgeries. But also, Venus is not the time to start a new relationship or a new business, because Venus is about loving what you do. So just hang on, because Venus will go direct on April 12th. So instead of launching, instead of getting involved, take the time to put things in place, so to speak, because Venus wants us to really love what we're doing. So when Venus is in retrograde, it's giving us a cosmic standstill to say, girl, guy, are you really going forward in the direction that you want to go in? Are you sure? Venus is love, beauty, friendship, relationships. So there you go. So the new moon is a time when the moon typically goes completely black. And the thing about the new moon is we can't see it in the sky. And it's something that message we should take from the new moon. It goes black. So the full moon is the bright spectacle, but the new moon goes black. It's almost like it takes a moment to pull back, to refresh. It says, I'm just going to go quiet here. I'm going to take a private moment, and I have to pull in a lot of energy because it's the start of the next 28-day cycle. So we go from the new moon, and then we start to see the slivers along the moon. Then it goes into the giant big full moon. But it's like I'm going to take time in. And this is where meditation, breath work become essential. Hypnotherapy, Satana, that's on here, Mango Jungle. If you need any kind of hypnotherapy, that's probably something new you've never tried. She does an amazing hypnotherapy session. Follow her at Mango Jungle. I've been in her sessions. They are remarkable. But you're going inside to say, what seeds do I want to plant in the future? Instead of just scattering a bunch of seeds. Oh, I love tulips. I love sunflowers. I love roses. Maybe you get more strategic and specific. And it's like you can find out where you've been ineffective, where you've been unhealed. And how can I complete myself and really pull things together that have been out of reach? Okay. So if the sun represents what you want to become, the moon represents what your heart and your feelings are. It's your home. When the moon, wherever the moon is in your chart, that is where you feel most at home. And you can decompress and feel where you can belong. So when the moon is in, when it's a full moon or a new moon, because it's so significant, we kind of feel at home because it's part of ours. So 9 degrees, like I said, is a big darn deal because it's about ending. It's spiritual. Moon in Libra, okay, air sign. Certain things that have made you feel at ease in your heart. So here's more detailed breakdown of 0 degrees. So we've never seen this in astrology ever. All of these planets in 0 degrees. This is why I'm so excited. This is why I'm pumped up, because last month we had that rare 7 planetary lineup. I'm like, this year is unbelievable. So the North Node and the South Node came into the play at 0 degrees. February, Sirius came in at 0 degrees. In April, Neptune will be at 0 degrees. In May, Saturn will be at 0 degrees. This is phenomenal. This is when a planet is at 0 degrees. What's exciting about this is at the end point, it's going to start over with a 1. So sometimes a planet slips back to 0 degrees, and it goes back and forth, but it's really a phenomenal time. This is why I said this is a rare occurrence. It's never been seen before in astrology to have this many planets at 0 degrees. Aries is sitting in its axis at 0 degrees. This is phenomenal. So to me, it's like a clean slate. It's a deck that's cleared. For us, it's like almost like free space. So retrogrades. Mercury is still in retrograde. Like I said, Mercury has felt a little annoying this time. I'm not going to lie. I've had a little bit of challenges with Mercury retrograde, but it's been tempered because the eclipse energy is overshadowing it. And the eclipse season, and we had a stellium in Pisces. So water signs, my water signs, how have you been feeling? I've actually been feeling good because a stellium is when 3 or more aspects are in one sign. We have had 5 planets in Pisces for the last couple of weeks. That's called a stellium. And it's made me feel really good. I hope you feel the same, my water signs. It's giving me this, I just feel very ethereal. I feel very calm. And I contributed to that energy coming from Pisces. So Chiron, the sun, the moon, the Mercury are also a stellium in Aries. So we got this Pisces stellium and we got this Aries stellium. And check it out. They are the rulers of this eclipse. And they are, what a way to say goodbye. What a way to say goodbye with Pisces and Aries. They're saying we're going to go out and say goodbye in a big way. So a stellium in Pisces and a stellium in Aries. So Venus in Pisces, Venus returned to Pisces right now, and it's sitting at 28 degrees. This is significant because 28 adds up to the number 10. What is number 10? A 1. What is Aries? Number 1. Stuck meaning decisions. Yeah. Stable emotions, but a bit stuck. Yes. Stable. Yes, yes, yes. You're not stuck. It's like, what is the term? There's a word that says, because something doesn't happen, it doesn't mean it's a denial. It just doesn't mean right now. So yeah, I totally get that. But the decisions are coming. You will get the answers that you need. I promise you. I promise you. So the day after the new moon comes in on 3/29, Neptune changes signs. Neptune spends about 14 years in each zodiac sign. So it takes about 165 years to complete its cycle and orbit around the sun. The last time, and guess where Neptune's going? Pisces. You can't make this stuff up. So the last time Neptune was in Pisces was in 2011. And the last time Neptune entered Aries was on April 13th, 1861. So one day, so what we're going for now is all the outer planets are moving to 0 degrees. Pluto kicked it off last November. Now it's Neptune, next is Saturn, then it's Jupiter in June, and in July, Uranus will be all at 0 degrees. Again, this is such an incredible, rare event that we don't even have a record of it ever happening in history before. We have never had it happen in the history before. So what I've noticed when I started following the moon and doing these moon downloads, I started by doing audio files and emails. I started doing emails, and I realized that I have been connecting myself with the moon for probably like the last 6 or 7 years. Life becomes magical because the moon governs our emotions, and we are emotional beings. So I always say when someone, the next time someone says, I swear to goodness, someone says, oh, you're so emotional, say thank you, because that is a gift from God. Our emotions entail our sixth sense, our high level of intuition coming from our third eye and pineal gland, and our gut level of intuition. These are gifts. And so I'm going to be emotional all day long. Obviously, things can skew to extremes, but we're supposed to be emotional. So remember that. So when you're feeling a little nutty, crazy, show yourself some grace. You're probably picking up something energetically that's not right. We're not emotional for naught. We just start tripping for no reason. Either something's triggering us in our environment, someone's doing something. So show yourself some grace. So it's all happening this year. All this 0 degree energy is happening this year. So as if it wasn't a crazy enough year, being a 9-year of completions and endings, but a lot of shit is going to end. Can I say that? A lot of crap is going to end this year. You'll see. It has to. It's already ordained. Numerology and the stars say so. So it's important to be a spiritual warrior. It's important to strengthen your container. So we all, those that are listening, those that have conscious awareness, we have to get strong mentally, physically, psychically, and emotionally. Strengthen our container so that we can help others. It's a time to be more vocal and more outspoken on things, and figuring out how we can help, any way we can help. It's a time to help others and step into more conscious, more of our spiritual side. So the idea is, how are you feeling in your spiritual service? How are you feeling in your spiritual service? How are you feeling in your spirituality? We are in the spiritual warriors are coming out. You know, spiritual warriors fight with love and compassion and with intention. All right, so Neptune enters Aries at 0 degrees in Pisces with Mercury in Pisces. So 166 years ago. So Neptune will slow down the tempo of Aries, making sure that it's a good fit before we take the leap, because Aries, again, wants us to just jump off the cliff and go. So Neptune is coming in as a protection. So you'll feel more confident about what feels right and what does not feel right. Trust yourself. That's how you will have a good life. When you look back, our foibles come back. Our indecision really is an indecision. It's our fear of not wanting to be courageous and do the thing we know we need to do. We always have the answer. Sometimes it gets a little clouded up, but when we are undecided, it's just that we're not ready to be as fearless and as outspoken. But Neptune will help Aries, and it'll help us speak from the heart. So it's never what we say or do, it's how we say what we do. Hey, Donna, another water sign, Donna Tritton, how are you? Donna Scorpio. This is a watery night, and I was saying, like, this is a lot of water. We're talking about the new moon in Aries coming in on Saturday. So Neptune can also somewhat bring a little self-doubt. So the idea is, in a way, the way self-doubt works is it's probably coming from the mind. We have to realize the mind is not our friend. The mind is not our friend. The brain is, but not the mind. So we have to override the mind. So if you're having certain kind of doubts, you have to go to, what's the worst case scenario if I do this or if I do that? Sometimes it's worse. Inaction is worse than taking a risk, right? So Aries will always bring you back to self-confidence. So during this Aries time, if you don't have the confidence, Aries is doing its part to give you more energy. Aries likes to direct energy. So it's funny. Aries is number 1. It's a sign of the leadership. Paloma, Lomita, no way. Paloma is Scorpio. Oh my goodness, Greg, what sign are you? Are you Aries, Greg? I can't remember. I should know this. Hey, Greg. Oh, Lomita. So we're having a water stellium on the live right now. You're surrounded with Scorpio, with Cancer, Pisces energy. It's dominating right now. So Aries, what's interesting, Aries is the CEO, but Aries doesn't necessarily like to be, oh, Gemini. Okay, that's right. That's why you're so darn creative and kind of all over the place. But when you harness your energy, no wonder you're so smart. Always thinking ahead. Gemini. Okay, that makes sense. So Aries, the funny thing about Aries, they like to be in the lead. The lead and leader are two different things. So if Aries is on a team, they want to be number 1 on that team. Aries will reluctantly become the CEO and lead things, but they just like to be first and top in whatever they do. So Aries will direct the energy, but Neptune will say, hold on, are you clear? So the idea as we go forward is, how can you expand yourself as a more loving and kind and authentic human being? So the questions are, as we're in this eclipse period, where do I use my energy? Are you using it in the right way? Gwendolyn says, air. Like what the bee? Where do I use my energy to bring change? Where do I use my energy to bring change? Where do I use my energy to help others? So Venus is closely tied to Neptune, because on 3/22, Venus was conjunct the sun, which created what we called a Venus star point. And it takes Venus is out of view right now for several days, because Venus is changing from an evening star to a morning star, another big celestial event. So if you notice in January and February, if you looked at the full moons, or if you just watched the sunset and you watched the moon come in, or just looked up into the sky, there has been this bright, beautiful star, and it's been Venus. And I was like, wow, Venus has been shining bright January, February, and March. So the deal is, Venus transition through this. It's called something conjunction. It's when Venus positions herself between the earth and sun. That's why Venus was so bright. She was so bright in the sky. So after this conjunction, she is now moving into a morning star versus an evening star. So on February 14th, she was at her peak. I remember being in San Diego at the end of January and seeing Venus so bright in the sky. So this makes sense. So on Valentine's Day, she is the planet of love, relationships, and all of that. She started moving back down. It's called an inferior conjunction. That's what it's called, an inferior conjunction. She started moving down. So she was at her greatest brilliance on the 14th of February. 22nd is when Venus went into her inferior conjunction. So on April 22nd, Venus will be the brightest star in the morning sky. She's moving from evening to morning. So I thought that was so cool. Again, I love this earth and this planetary energy. So what is significant that both Venus and Neptune govern love. Venus is human love, love for others, love for ourselves, and Neptune is unconditional universal love. They both govern the arts, creativity, music, and bringing harmony into life. On May 2nd, when Venus will be direct on the 12th of April, but it'll go back into Pisces at 0 degrees for the first time in 156 years. So there it is again, Pisces at 0 degrees in Aries on May 2nd for the first time in 156 years. And it will conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. Wow. Okay, what to do? Be a nonconformist. Be a nonconformist. This is what Aries asks us to do. Be a nonconformist. Don't conform. We all are unique. And as Joseph Campbell says, the privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. Making things happen, stability, authority. Take inspired action. If you have a dream, if you have a thought, take inspired action on it and really concretize your mission statement. I know my mission statement has changed because of what's going on globally, nationally, in the U.S. So I know my mission statement has shifted. I've always helped people. I've always been out there trying to bring change and teaching people about healing themselves. But now I'm on a whole new level of that. Put strategic plans in place that align with your future, and you're finally start initiating things. Stop talking about, thinking about. Use the courage of this time and this energy to illuminate, because this is what the eclipses are doing. They're illuminating, bringing things for the surface, whether it's for better or for the worse, to help you have the significant change or help us. The spirit of Neptune and Aries shows us a return to our individuality, our self-realization, and a willingness to experiment. Again, think worst case scenario. I remember my grandmother, she used to always say, I used to hate being told no. And she goes, no's not going to kill you, girl. You know, if you don't ask, you don't get. So reminds me of that. So the shadow of this time can be a lack of direction and motivation. And I think that lack of direction and motivation just comes from fear. It comes from fear. So my next thing is for you to do something called fear burning. So like I said, last night in class, before we closed out, we did like a quick little ritual in the yoga class. I gave each person this piece of yellow paper. For some reason, yellow is tied to your solar plexus, your ego, your strength, where we process things. So I use, these are just yellow cards that I cut in squares. And then I had them write down what they needed to let go. Was it a person, a relationship, a job, something, an energy, a habit that they needed to let go of? And we passed this around and we burned it. Look at this beautiful charcoal. It's almost like art. So last night we went around and I took a statement from, I think her name is a spiritual guru. I am renewed, aligned, unstoppable, and so it is. I am renewed, aligned, unstoppable, and so it is. I am renewed, aligned, unstoppable, and so it is. Please burn your desire. So the idea about burning is that it clears the deck. So whatever that fear was, it clears it, removes it out of the way, metaphorically and energetically. So I did not burn mine in this yet. So what I'm going to do is add mine to the mix. And then I'll take these ashes and bury them in the soil so that they are gone, totally gone, absolutely, positively gone. Ooh, my solar plexus is open. Yay. Wear yellow, Gwendolyn. Sneak it in with yellow underwear. Yellow's a powerful color, though. It's beautiful, bright. It brings the sunshine. Okay, what else? So fear burning. Setting clear, actionable goals and prepare your space. Remember the term spring cleaning? Spring clean. Spring clean during Aries season. I think Aries season ends, on the 19th or 20th of May. So we've got time. But clean your place. Burn lots and lots of candles. I've got candles going. I got my red glassy babies going. I've got my pink Himalayan salt candles going. I got candles burning all over the space. I want the universe to find me, and I'm tapping into the elemental energy of Aries. Thank you very much. Wear red. Wear red. So in closing, it's time for me to get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining in and listening. This has been so fun and powerful. So this time is like your sixth sense is opened up, and you're going to pay attention to how you show up in situations and how you can show up as someone who is more loving and more understanding. And this starts with yourself. Show yourself some grace and compassion. So like I said earlier, the strongest mode right now is cardinal energy. So it's you realizing the changes that you need to make. So that's what this cardinal energy is going to help you with. And the strongest element, which got proved out here tonight, is water. Woo! But it's closely followed by fire, by the fire sign. So water, you can't make this stuff up. Water showed up here tonight on this live. I'm blown away. I'm feeling so charged up right now because you can't make this stuff up. I had just typed out water is the strongest element. I come live and then boom, there it is. This time is to be seen as very therapeutic. Thank you, water signs. Thank you to us. Thank you to Aries, because both water and fire purify and cleanse. So it's a time to give the confidence, the courage, and the patience. We have 6 months to do this, but use Aries season to kick it off. It's okay if you start line listing and you kick it off, but then you can be patiently take your time. 6 months is a nice chunk of time to get something done. So look at the parts of yourself that don't work, and I think I said in the February reading, I was listening to a reader, it's like, if something hasn't come to fruition yet, it's time to let it go. Seriously, so think about that. Only you can decide. And where have you been disappointed in yourself? Where have you been truly, earnestly disappointed in yourself? And I wasn't going to say this tonight, but certainty. You want to have certainty in life. God works on certainty. So think of the things you are certain about. Certainty, the lack of certainty, it's a Kabbalah term. Having certainty in God and God's grace is something that we've got to move to. We've got to be certain. If you say you believe in God and Christ, you've got to get to a place where you're certain that you will be supported, okay? What else? We have all had difficult situations. We've even had external forces that have happened to us all. This has, again, been a crazy year for everybody. No one's gone unscathed. So the things that you heal within yourself over the next 6 months are going to be meaningful, and they're going to bring the lasting change. They're going to help you flourish and expand. So when we change our circumstances, we change ourselves. Best reading ever. Go buy yourself some flowers. These are fake. These are part of my decor here. But yeah, bring yourself some flowers. If no one's there to bring you flowers, bring yourself some flowers. Wear red. Empower yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. So fun. So fun. Such beautiful souls here tonight. Thank you, ladies, so much. I really appreciate it. And that's it for today. I will catch you in the next episode when I do the download. And don't forget to listen to my podcast, Astridologie with Astrid, ASTRIDLOGIE, on Spotify, on Apple, on iHeart, wherever you listen to podcasts. There's some good, juicy stuff there. Thank you for joining, Gregory. You brought in the divine masculine energy, as you are so known to do. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and happy new moon in Aries. Namaste. Thank you for listening to Astridologie. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support the podcast, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it by sharing this program on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at Coda Life Goddess or at codalife.com. Coda is COTA, Coda Life Goddess or codalife.com. Thank you again for listening to Astridologie, and I'll see you next time.